Y'all, brace yourselves because what just went down in court today isn't just a celebrity divorce. It's a full-blown annihilation of everything kandiburruss thought she controlled. One moment, the courtroom was silent. The next, it erupted into chaos as Todd Tucker dropped evidence that no one saw coming. Custody, prenup, financial power, everything flipped overnight. Ace and Blay are now in Todd's care. The prenup that was signed forcefully without Todd's lawyer completely nullified. And Kandi ordered to pay alimony, child support, and face the crushing reality of losing control over her own life. Every eye in the room was locked on her as the judge read the verdict. Kandi collapsed, trembling, tears streaming down her face. The weight of a lifetime of allegations and betrayals finally crashing down. Todd stood calm, collected, untouchable. The evidence he unveiled shredded her defense, exposed the Don Juan affair, the threesome confession, and revealed Mama Joyce's toxic influence. Riley and Kayla's strange family dynamics only added fuel to the fire, painting a picture of chaos that Kandi could no longer control. The flash bulbs captured every second of her collapse, every sob, every failed attempt to compose herself. And the internet went into overdrive. Fans dissected every word, every gesture, every moment from past interviews, replaying Todd's confident stance, analyzing Kandi's breakdown, questioning everything she ever said. Social media erupted. Bloggers and influencers dragged her credibility through the mud. And the drama didn't stop there. This wasn't just a divorce. This was exposure. A public unmasking of a marriage built on hidden agendas, legal maneuvering, and betrayals lurking behind closed doors. Todd didn't just win. He detonated the entire narrative, leaving Kandi reeling, broken, and under an unrelenting spotlight. And now the question everyone's asking: how will she ever recover from a loss this devastating, this public, this undeniable? Buckle up, because what just unfolded inside the courtroom today is unlike anything fans have ever witnessed. The air was electric, heavy with anticipation, and when Todd Tucker walked in, calm yet commanding, everyone knew this wasn't going to be a routine divorce hearing. Kandiburruss, once poised and confident, was on the edge of unraveling, and by the time the gavel hit, the world would see a reality more shocking than any scripted drama. Todd had evidence, precise, damning, and utterly unrelenting, that completely dismantled Kandi's claims. Custody, prenup, financial leverage, every single layer of control she thought she had was stripped away in seconds. The judge's voice cut through the tension like a blade, confirming what everyone feared: Ace and Blaze would be placed under Todd's care. The prenup, forcefully signed without Todd's lawyer present the day before the wedding, was declared null and void. Kandi's attorney tried to counter, but Todd's evidence, meticulously documented, left no room for argument. Alimony, child support, financial obligations. Kandi was ordered to pay, and the weight of it crashed down like a tidal wave she couldn't escape. Every word from the judge was a hammer striking her confidence. Kandi's collapse was instantaneous. She went rigid, eyes wide, body shaking as the verdict sank in. For years, she had curated an image of control, a narrative of power, but today it shattered completely. Todd stood motionless, his expression cold, almost surgical, as the courtroom absorbed the full scope of what had just been revealed. Alleged affairs with Don Juan exposed Theon confessions she had hoped would remain private. Public Mama Joyce's toxic manipulations and the fractured dynamics with Riley and Kayla laid bare for everyone to dissect. The collapse was not just emotional. It was total, irreversible, and utterly public. Every camera in the room captured the intensity. The flashbulbs flickered relentlessly, each click a reminder to Kandi that the world was watching her unraveling in real time. Fans and media analysts immediately dissected every second. Social media erupted. Clips of Todd presenting evidence, the calm precision of his delivery, the unwavering confidence in his voice, all became viral fodder. Kandi's credibility, painstakingly built over years, began to crumble before the eyes of millions. Todd's strategy was clear, ruthless, and meticulous. The courtroom became a theater, but the performance wasn't for ratings. It was a demonstration of dominance. The prenup cancellation wasn't accidental. It wasn't procedural. It was the result of a calculated move. The absence of Todd's legal counsel at the time of signing gave the court undeniable grounds to nullify it. Every financial claim Kandi had made was systematically dismantled. Every accusation, every threat, every allegation of coercion she had leveled against Todd was countered with cold, hard proof. The custody of Ace and Blaze was the centerpiece. Todd's calm presentation of his capability as a father contrasted sharply with Kandi's emotional collapse. Riley and Kayla's reactions, subtle but telling, revealed the hidden fractures of a family long living under a facade. Their step-family tensions, the strange behaviors, the quiet resentments, all became ammunition in Todd's legal arsenal. The courtroom wasn't just a venue for legal debate. It was a stage where the hidden truths of this family were being exposed with precision and unflinching clarity. As the hearing progressed, every revelation struck harder. The alleged Don Juan affair was not merely mentioned. It was substantiated with messages, call logs, and whispers of confessions once thought private. The threesome story, previously relegated to rumor, became a documented fact in court transcripts. Even Mama Joyce's toxic influence was scrutinized, and her interference in the marriage, her manipulation of narratives, and her undermining of Todd's authority now undeniable. Kandi's every defense fell flat against the torrent of evidence, leaving her trapped in a narrative she could no longer control. When Todd's attorney presented the final piece, the courtroom held its collective breath. The prenup's cancellation, coupled with Kandi's obligation to pay alimony and child support, crystallized the totality of her loss. Todd didn't just win. He had orchestrated a scenario where Kandi's credibility, influence, and control were all stripped away simultaneously. The verdict wasn't just legal, it was symbolic. It marked the public unmasking of a marriage built on hidden agendas, manipulations, and concealed truths. Kandi's breakdown, captured frame by frame, became the defining image of the day. Her tears, the tremor in her hands, the vacant stare as she processed the court's decision, every detail amplified the tragedy. Meanwhile, Todd's composure was near flawless. His calm, calculated demeanor contrasted sharply with the chaos unraveling around Kandi, cementing his victory in both legal and emotional terms. Outside the courtroom, the fallout was immediate. Social media erupted with analyses, speculation, and replayed clips of Todd's evidence. Fans debated, dissected, and criticized, creating a storm that showed no sign of dying down. The narrative wasn't just about divorce. It was about exposure, about strategy, about a meticulous dismantling of power and public image. Every whisper of past indiscretions, every long-held resentment, every private betrayal now had a public audience. This was more than a courtroom battle. It was a complete collapse of illusion. Kandiburruss, once seen as confident and in control, was now publicly shattered. Todd Tucker, methodical and relentless, had not only secured custody and financial leverage, but had exposed the vulnerabilities, secrets, and fractures that had long been hidden behind closed doors. The intensity, the emotion, the shock. It was a moment that would reverberate in celebrity gossip history for years to come. The tragedy wasn't just Kandi's loss. It was the unraveling of a carefully curated life, the exposure of hidden dynamics, and the undeniable proof that strategy, timing, and relentless precision can completely redefine reality. This wasn't a divorce. This was a calculated demolition, a spectacle of power, betrayal, and undeniable human drama. The courtroom may have emptied, but the echoes of this devastation, emotional, social, and public, would linger far beyond the final gavel strike. Y'all, what happened after the courtroom emptied is a story the world wasn't ready for. The final gavel may have signaled the end of the legal battle, but for Kandiburruss, it marked the beginning of a public, relentless collapse that would redefine celebrity divorce drama forever. Outside those doors, Todd Tucker's victory was more than legal. It was psychological. Custody of Ace and Blaze secured, prenup nullified, alimony, and child support mandated. Todd didn't just win. He systematically dismantled the narrative Kandi had spent years constructing. Every camera outside captured her trembling form. Every flashbulb amplifying the moment her carefully curated image shattered into irreparable pieces. Inside, Kandi's attorney tried to salvage composure, but the courtroom evidence had already done its work. Todd's presentation had not been a fluke. It was precision, strategy, and execution at a level few had anticipated. The prenup signed a day before the wedding without Todd's counsel was exposed as a legal vulnerability Kandi could never overcome. The world learned something Kandi had fought to keep hidden. Her control had been an illusion. Todd's calm dominance contrasted sharply with Kandi's visible fragility. Fans watching on live feeds and later through clips replayed across social media witnessed a woman collapsing not just emotionally, but socially and publicly. The revelations didn't stop in the courtroom. Reports surfaced immediately exposing Kandi's alleged affair with Don Juan, her threesome confessions, and the toxic influence of Mama Joyce on the household. Each detail compounded the public's shock. Riley's discomfort with her stepdad and Kayla's complex dynamic with her stepsister revealed the long-buried fractures in the family. Todd's legal strategy had not only won the case, it revealed the hidden patterns of dysfunction that had fueled this divorce battle. The audience realized that this was not just a dispute over money or custody. It was exposure of character, trust, and deception at the highest level. Kandi's public collapse became the centerpiece of viral conversation. Social media erupted with analyses, memes, heated debates, and dissection of every flash, every tear, every second of her emotional breakdown. Every clip of Todd presenting evidence went viral instantly. Fans replayed the recordings, studied the pauses, and noted the confidence in his voice, a voice that had methodically stripped Kandi of her defenses. Each moment she attempted to respond was drowned out by the weight of incontrovertible evidence and Todd's controlled, relentless delivery. The fallout went beyond financial loss. Kandi faced not only the burden of alimony and child support, but also the unrelenting scrutiny of a global audience dissecting her credibility. The alleged Don Juan affair, once whispered in blogs, became a mainstream scandal. The threesome confession, once buried in private messages, was now public. Mama Joyce's manipulation, Riley's step-family strain, Kayla's complex relationships, all became evidence in a courtroom of public opinion that had no mercy. Every move Kandi made after the ruling was under a magnifying glass. Every statement she attempted to issue met with skepticism. Todd's post-verdict strategy was equally calculated. He didn't flaunt the victory immediately. Instead, he let the silence do the work. Social media analysts noted the shift. While Kandi spiraled, Todd's reputation solidified. Every interview he gave, every statement released through his team, reinforced the narrative of a father and husband strategically reclaiming what had been threatened. The prenup cancellation wasn't just a legal victory. It symbolized the power of timing, strategy, and the absence of her legal leverage. Meanwhile, Kandi's emotional state continued to unravel. Sources inside her inner circle described her as broken, trembling under the weight of public humiliation, financial obligation, and personal betrayal. Her once commanding presence in the celebrity sphere was replaced by anxiety, second-guessing, and an almost paralyzing fear of the camera lens. She had lost the courtroom, but more than that, she had lost the battle for public perception, for authority over her own story, and for credibility that Todd methodically stripped away. The children, Ace and Blay, became symbols of the legal and emotional warfare that had consumed this family. Todd's custody win wasn't just about parental rights. It was a public statement of dominance and control. Kandi's failure to maintain custody magnified the tragedy, as fans dissected every interaction she had with the children, every social media post, and every prior statement in light of the verdict. The narrative of love, betrayal, and family dysfunction now dominated headlines, comment sections, and viral gossip channels worldwide. Even outside the legal and social spheres, the psychological impact was undeniable. Kandi's collapse in the courtroom was just the beginning. She retreated from public appearances, interviews, and media engagements. Each attempt to regain control was met with public skepticism, further amplified by Todd's careful media strategy. The world watched her unravel, while Todd remained a figure of composure almost untouchable. The drama became a lesson in the lethal combination of strategy, timing, and character exposure, a warning to anyone under the glare of public scrutiny. The viral aftermath didn't subside. Fans debated endlessly about the legal missteps, Kandi's alleged lies, and Todd's meticulous execution of evidence and strategy. Every allegation she made, every defensive move, and every attempt to reclaim narrative control was met with evidence that undermined her credibility. Social media became a court of its own, and Kandi's public image continued to deteriorate. Each clip of Todd presenting evidence, each breakdown replayed and analyzed, turned into a viral storm. The emotional intensity wasn't just performative. Observers noted the depth of despair in Kandi's reactions, the trembling hands, the silent sobs, the vacant stare that followed every gavel strike. Todd's calm, precise, almost surgical approach contrasted starkly with the emotional devastation unfolding before cameras, creating a spectacle that blurred the line between reality and performance. This was the kind of tragedy that audiences didn't just watch, they felt. It reverberated through social media, talk shows, blogs, and gossip feeds, creating a storm impossible to ignore. Every element of the divorce, custody, alimony, child support, prenup cancellation became a viral story. Todd's evidence didn't just win a legal battle. It redefined the narrative for the public. Every exposure of Kandi's alleged indiscretions, every toxic family dynamic revealed, every strategic move she failed to anticipate became material for viral discussion. Fans debated endlessly about the lessons in control, strategy, and timing, turning personal tragedy into global spectacle. By the end of the first week following the ruling, the story had become a case study in public collapse and strategic dominance. Kandi's personal and public life was dissected endlessly, her credibility questioned, her every move analyzed, and Todd's strategic precision lauded. The courtroom was empty, but the war continued in the digital realm. The viral spread was relentless, unstoppable, and entirely consuming. This wasn't just a celebrity divorce. It was a total dismantling of perception, credibility, and control. Todd Tucker didn't just win custody and financial leverage. He orchestrated a full exposure of hidden truths, emotional fractures, and manipulations that had long been concealed. Kandiburruss, once confident and commanding, was left navigating a new reality, financially, emotionally, and publicly devastated. The courtroom gavel may have fallen, but the echoes of this collapse will continue to reverberate, reminding the world that in the arena of celebrity drama, strategy, timing, and exposure can redefine everything. The viral impact, the emotional devastation, the strategic mastery, it was a full-scale collapse of image, reputation, and credibility. For Kandi, this wasn't just a loss. It was a public unraveling that would leave traces forever, marking this as one of the most shocking, emotionally intense, and viral celebrity divorces in history. The aftermath of the courtroom verdict unfolded like a storm the world wasn't ready to witness. Kandiburruss, once a figure of confidence and control, now navigated the wreckage of her public and private life. Every step scrutinized, every expression dissected, every word turned into ammunition for social media critics. The custody of Ace and Blah 1 had been awarded to Todd Tucker, and with that came a level of authority and control that extended far beyond legal documents. The children became symbols in a battle that had never truly been about love, but about power, strategy, and domination. Todd's victory wasn't just legal, it was cultural. Every clip of him presenting evidence had gone viral, every pause and deliberate glance dissected by millions online. Analysts and gossip commentators debated the implications endlessly. Todd's calm, measured approach, his ability to dismantle Kandi's credibility without raising his voice, contrasted starkly with Kandi's visible emotional collapse. The public witnessed a woman losing not just a legal battle, but her command over perception, her control over narrative, and the image she had spent years building. Financially, Kandi now faced the full brunt of the court's ruling. Alimony and child support obligations imposed an immediate and tangible burden. Each payment, each financial disclosure became fodder for discussion. Todd's lawyers had calculated every angle, ensuring that the financial consequences were as public as they were unavoidable. Kandi's attempts to defend herself were undermined not just by evidence, but by the optics of her collapse. Every statement she issued was met with skepticism. Every social media post replayed and scrutinized for signs of guilt or desperation. The revelations about Kandi's alleged affair with Don Juan, the threesome confessions, and the toxic influence of Mama Joyce added layers of scandal that extended far beyond the courtroom. Fans dissected the nuances of Riley's discomfort with her stepdad and Kayla's complex relationship with her stepsister, framing them as pieces of a puzzle that exposed years of dysfunction. Todd had not only claimed custody and financial leverage, he had revealed hidden truths that amplified the emotional and social fallout. The online world erupted. Every moment of Kandi's courtroom collapse had been recorded and replayed millions of times. Memes, reaction videos, and commentary flooded social media platforms. Influencers dissected her every move, creating endless cycles of viral content, Todd's calm composure became a benchmark for strategic victory, while Kandi's breakdown became the definitive image of loss, humiliation, and public exposure. Todd's legal maneuvering and careful media strategy had turned the courtroom into a stage and the world into an audience. Kandi's collapse was amplified by every flash, every camera angle, every broadcast. Each revelation about her personal life fueled the narrative of her defeat. Social media debates raged over who had emerged as the true victor, dissecting Todd's strategy, timing, and the absence of his legal counsel during the initial prenup signing. Analysts argued endlessly about the implications of Kandi's alleged lies, her courtroom demeanor, and the chain of events that led to her total loss of credibility. This wasn't just a divorce, it was a public dection of character. Todd's victory sent ripples through celebrity circles, legal analysts, and gossip platforms alike. The prenup cancellation, the custody award, and the financial obligations were not mere legal outcomes. They were statements about power, strategy, and control. Kandi's world had shifted overnight, leaving her to contend with both the tangible consequences of court rulings and the intangible weight of public scrutiny. Even as the courtroom drama settled, the emotional fallout continued. Sources close to Kandi described her as struggling to maintain composure in public, haunted by viral clips and social media commentary. Every attempt to reclaim narrative control was met with reminders of her loss, amplified by Todd's strategic silence and calculated appearances. He had won custody, financial leverage, and public perception, while Kandi's attempts at recovery were constantly undermined by the lingering effects of her courtroom collapse. The scandal extended to every corner of Kandi's personal life. Alleged affairs, family dysfunction, and previously hidden confessions became tools for the public to interpret her defeat. Todd's ability to navigate legal strategy while exposing these hidden truths created a narrative of complete domination. Every viewer, fan, and gossip commentator absorbed the story as a case study in strategic power, legal acumen, and public perception management. The social media storm reached unprecedented levels. Clips of the courtroom breakdown went viral across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Fans replayed moments, analyzed expressions, and debated outcomes. Todd's calm demeanor was praised as a masterclass in strategy, while Kandi's collapse became a symbol of vulnerability and loss. Every comment section turned into a digital courtroom where public opinion weighed as heavily as legal verdicts. Even months later, the consequences remained. Todd's custody and financial wins were secure, and Kandi continued to navigate the harsh realities of public judgment. The viral nature of the courtroom fallout ensured that every move she made was met with scrutiny, every attempt to rebuild her image overshadowed by the viral storm of her loss. Todd had achieved not only legal victory but cultural dominance, reshaping public discourse around celebrity divorce, family dynamics, and emotional exposure. The legacy of this divorce battle was clear. Kandiburruss, once a commanding public figure, now faced a reality defined by loss, financial obligation, and social scrutiny. Todd Tucker's calculated strategy, precision timing, and controlled public persona had transformed a legal victory into a cultural phenomenon. The children, Ace and Blay, became symbols of strategic success and emotional impact, while every revelation about family dysfunction, alleged affairs, and personal confessions became viral content that shaped public perception. In the end, the divorce was not simply a legal matter. It was an exhibition of strategic dominance, emotional vulnerability, and public spectacle. Kandi's collapse, Todd's calculated victory, and the viral fallout illustrated how personal tragedy, when exposed on a global stage, could redefine celebrity culture, legal strategy, and emotional consequence. This was more than a courtroom drama. It was a cautionary tale, a viral phenomenon, and a tragedy of public perception that would echo for years. The court may have adjourned, but the story continues to reverberate. Every social media post, every public appearance, and every discussion about custody, prenup cancellation, and financial obligation feeds into the ongoing narrative of control, strategy, and exposure. Todd Tucker didn't just win a divorce. He orchestrated a spectacle that left Kandiburruss publicly, emotionally, and socially devastated. The fallout is complete, the viral storm relentless, and the legacy undeniable. This is one of the most shocking, emotionally intense, and strategically executed celebrity divorces in history. The courtroom doors have closed, but the fallout is just beginning. Kandiburruss's loss isn't just a headline. It's a seismic shockwave shaking celebrity culture to its core. Todd Tucker walked out with ace and blaze, secured every financial advantage, and demolished Kandi's credibility in front of the world. Every viral clip, every replayed moment, every whispered conversation online reminds the public that this wasn't just a divorce. It was a total public unraveling. Fans are debating, analysts are dissecting, and social media is on fire, dissecting every angle, every misstep, and every revelation that led to Kandi's shocking collapse. This is the kind of drama that dominates feeds for weeks, ignites endless discussions, and leaves viewers glued, shocked, and emotionally drained. Todd's strategic precision, his calm dominance, and his timing transformed legal maneuvering into a viral spectacle. Meanwhile, Kandi's emotional breakdown, the exposure of alleged affairs, family dysfunction, and toxic dynamics. These are the moments people cannot stop watching, cannot stop talking about, and cannot unsee. This isn't just news, it's a full-blown social phenomenon, a lesson in power, strategy, and public perception. Every flash, every camera, every viral clip reinforces the reality. Celebrity life is ruthless. Courtroom battles are war, and public scrutiny can destroy as much as any verdict. The story isn't over, and viewers know it. Every comment, every share, every trending clip fuels the intensity, keeping the drama alive and the tension unbearable. This is your front row seat to heartbreak, scandal, and domination. Witness the shocking collapse. Watch the victory that reshaped a family, a legacy, and a public persona forever. Don't scroll past this one. Stay tuned, share every moment, and follow the drama that's rewriting celebrity history. Every revelation is explosive. Every detail is shocking, and the full story is still unfolding. This is not just gossip. It's the ultimate courtroom spectacle you cannot afford to miss.